It's Tone, and I'm back to do another listening sessions. If you remember, a few months back, I started this thing where I got kind of tired of just coming on. I'm not putting this on anybody else, but on myself. Coming on and just showing things that I was bringing in. And even though I kind of buy records habitually like a thunderstorm, just constantly buying records, I felt I was maybe seeking some things to bring in so that I can make new content to share. It's not cool. So I decided to start intermittently making videos called listening sessions, where I just show things that I've dug deep into my collection and things I haven't listened to in a while, and just kind of pull them out and listen to them. And I've been doing that a lot more lately because if you've been watching my videos and if you subscribe or you follow me, you know that I've been on a vinyl diet that just ended about a week ago. It lasted about 3 months, and it was fantastic. I'm so glad I did it. A quarter of a year, I didn't buy anything. And technically, I still haven't purchased anything. I've been so busy. And I've actually committed to not buying a thing until I pick up a lot of records that I have over at Jason Hacker's house. You guys know Hackman 377 channel, Jason Hacker. He's got a few really prized gems for me, and as well a lot of stuff that I've pulled from some of the things he's picked up over the past couple of years that I just haven't picked up. And so I'm not actually going to purchase anything else until I purchase that stuff from him first. So I just have to hook up with him. And I had some phone issues, which really threw me off work-wise and personally. So I got those rectified. But what have I been listening to over the past 3 months? This brilliant, unbelievably fantastic record, Tube's debut record, 1975 on, is it A&M? I think it's A&M. And yeah, if you're not a fan of the Tubes, or if you're not familiar with the Tubes, which I would suspect most of you are, they're just an absolutely brilliant band. This record is a masterpiece. 1975 again on A&M, self-titled. It goes all over the place. But the musicianship of these guys, this was an absolutely brilliant debut album for anybody. And I hadn't listened to this in so long, and I pulled it out, and I was just again blown away just by the magnificence of this, the writing and the production. I mean, some people put them in an early punk category. Some people put them in a progressive rock category. It's kind of all that jumbled up. It's even some elements of really complicated arrangements and progressions, almost reminiscent of like stuff that could fall onto Asia by Steely Dan. And it's just fantastic. So really enjoyed it. I think I spun this like 4 or 5 times in a row. Yeah, it was that much. So Tube, self-titled, which then led me to pull out this baby. No explanation needed. Steely Dan, Pretzel Logic. What is this, 75? 74, sorry. I should know that, being the big Steely Dan fan that I am. This is an original issue, first pressing, gatefold cover of Pretzel Logic. The absolutely brilliant song of Ricky Don't Lose That Number and Any Major Dude Will Tell You, which is just a beautiful progression and riffs and note structure, and vocals are just amazing on that song. And this is my second favorite Steely Dan record ever, Pretzel Logic, 1974 on ABC. I think I was talking to someone about the Crusaders, so I pulled out 1963 Jazz Crusaders, Tough Talk. on Pacific Jazz. This is an original issue, first pressing on Pacific Jazz. Right there. Can you see it? There you go. And 63, of course, becoming the Crusaders, with just a beautiful array of musicians that came out of this band. The most famous being, of course, Joe Sample. Styx Hooper, fantastic jazz drummer. Robert Haynes, or Bobby Haynes, and Wayne Henderson on trombone. One of my favorite trombone players. Probably the best jazz trombone player that ever was, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. So right there, Jazz Crusaders, Tough Talk, 1963 on Pacific Jazz. I was listening to that, and then I just started flipping through jazz, and I pulled up Robin Kenyatta, Girl from Ipanema. I think it's 72 or 73, something like that. ECM. Robert Kenyatta, of course, becoming popular as a saxophonist. But does he play saxophone on this record? Yes, he does. But it is a flute-based record, as you can see there. He is an amazing and underrated jazz flautist. Girl from Martinique. Did I say Ipanema? There we go. Girl from Martinique is the name of the album, and I think it's like 72 on ECM, right around there. And this was not the first thing that I ever heard him on. I was actually turned on to Robert Kenyatta on, God, what record was that of Sonny Stitt? I think Deuces Wild. Deuces Wild, 1966 or 67 on, I forget what label. But yeah, Sonny Stitt's record, Deuces Wild, introduced Robert Kenyatta to the mainstream jazz recording world. And I fell in love with him as a sax player on that album. This album is a fantastic mix of fusion, soul jazz, etherealness, beautiful. They call it a fusion record, but there are straight ahead elements of just straight ahead soul jazz. It's just fantastic. I've seen a few people show this over the years, early 70s, maybe it's even earlier than 72, on ECM, Robert Kenyatta, Girl from Martinique. And then I had been watching, I think I was watching Pulp Fiction, and when I stopped watching the movie, I felt like listening to music, and so I went right for Just For You, Neil Diamond, because I felt like hearing Girl, You'll Be a Woman Soon, which is the original version of that song that you hear in the movie. And this is an original issue, first pressing on Bang Records. Neil Diamond, Just For You on Bang. Beautiful copy, cover and vinyl. And it just sounds fantastic. The whole album is just amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. I'm a huge Neil Diamond fan. Being a songwriter, I gravitate. He's just a fantastic songwriter. So I tend to gravitate to great songwriters, no matter what you think about the music. But, you know, you can't argue that he's just a brilliant musician. Excellent album. And I think this is 70-something. I forget what year this is. Mid-late 70s. I was flipping through rock and I pulled Witchzamrock band. Believe this came out in the early 70s initially, the album. This is, of course, not an original pressing. It's called Introduction, which is their first album. It's not the same cover as the original. This was reissued by, not Vinyl Me, please. Now Again issued this a few years back. I think 2013 or 14, they did it first, and then they redid it again in 2020. This is 2013. And these are numbered, by the way. They're numbered on the inside. There were 500 initial copies. I don't know if you can see this, but if you look right there, there's numbering. And this is 277 out of 500. They were hand numbered by Now Again Records, who I believe the what's-his-face from Now Again is actually over at Stone's Throw now, helping them run Stone's Throw. Or Now Again is actually a subsidiary of Stone's Throw. Excellent Zamrock record, you know, Psych Garage Rock from Zambia, which stands for We Intend to Create Havoc, is what the actual name of the band is. I was watching a video and people were talking about library music, so I started going through my library music, and this is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful library record called Images. I believe it's a French pressing, and it's on Musique de Wolf, which put out a lot of great library records. I believe this is a French pressing, or is it an English, a UK pressing? I think it's a Dutch pressing from Holland. One of my favorite library records of all time. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's phenomenal. If you're a library music fan, De Wolf Limited, which is the label that puts out a great amount of library stuff, look into that label. But if you want to seek this one out, Images, I've shown this before a long time ago. I haven't listened to it in a while, and I really enjoyed it. So, yeah. Fantastic. Fantastic. Pulled out this early 2000 release. This is Raphael Saadiq Instant Vintage. It's a double LP because the way that they laid or pressed vinyl and spaced it out. This is a double LP, of course. It should just be a single LP, but it is a double LP. This is actually a promo copy. It was on, I think, 2001 or 2002 on Universal Records. And coincidentally, if you're not familiar with Raphael Saadiq, into neoclassic soul, Raphael Saadiq being the lead singer of Tony, 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 and I believe this was his first solo record. I was, if I remember correctly, was at the label for a meeting at the time, and Raphael was there. And he didn't know who I was at the time, but he'd known some of the work I've done, and so we were introduced. He said, "Have you heard the new record yet?" I said, "No." And he went to one of the A&R's office, and he grabbed it, and he gave it to me himself. So I've had it ever since, for about 20 years now. Yeah. So, fantastic record. This record is unbelievable. This artist, Lisa van Wegen, I believe she is a Swedish artist going by the pseudonym IET, lowercase I, capital E, capital T. I've never understood how to pronounce that. I don't know if it's IET or just IET. But she is an amazing, the best way that I can describe her is she is a very ethereal, maybe even psychedelic rock soul artist, combining ethereal and psychedelic textures and tones to her vocals and her lyrics, with a beautiful, beautiful blend of soul and rock music. And she's fantastic. Almost in a sense, in terms of her delivery, like Lana Del Rey, but I may get flamed for saying this, but about 10 times better than Lana Del Rey. And I'm a huge Lana Del Rey fan, but this chick has got it all over her. This album is brilliant. 2014 on, I think it was self-released, or it was on Northern Shore Analog Gypsy Records. Northern Shore Records collaboration with Analog Gypsy Records, which may be her label, the Analog Gypsy. But I know it's 2014. IET, lowercase I, capital E, capital T. And the album is called, what's the album called again? So Unreal. And the title track, So Unreal, is so unreal. It's that good. Really, really, really fantastic record. Highly recommended. Last but not least is something I hadn't listened to for a long time. Maybe like 5 years. And that's Adam Harding, the musician Adam Harding from Australia, as Dumb Numbers. Came to the US and started some stuff, had some connections, put together a band compiled of members from the Melvins, a member from Dinosaur Jr., and a member from, I think Best Coast. And put together this amazing band that does a fantastic, almost slightly doom metal / shoegaze. They're kind of branded as shoegaze. There's a little doom metal in there. This is a numbered copy. This was when they first came out, I think 2012 or 2013. Right here, 394 out of 500, hand numbered. And people were scrambling for these when they first came out, I remember. And I was fortunate enough to get a first one. And I've had it ever since. And it's been like a half a decade since I've listened to it. Fantastic. Like I said, light doom metal / shoegaze. Just fantastic record. Dumb Numbers on A Joyful Noise. Maybe like 2012, 2013. Right around there. And that's what I've been listening to. I'll be doing another one of these soon because I've got other stuff to show you what I've been listening to. And until then, as always, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. I always love the comments and just talking with you guys. And I'll talk to you guys soon. All right. God bless and peace.
Like sharp-edged weapons and leave scars, separate through veins and arteries, arteries bleed hearts. Part of me skeptical at the thought of a clean start, cause I grew up playing the dirty desert.